Hi everyone, lovely to be filming today. This is my first proper actual video that I've filmed in the new house, and I'm not entirely convinced that you're level right now. Just 1 second. That's better. I think that's better. I have no idea if from your point of view it was obvious, but from my point of view it was. So, what video have I chosen to make the first thing that I've filmed in the new place? Can you guess? It is a get ready with me, because I did feel as though there is so much to talk about and I need to get ready and I have an opportunity to film, so this is what we have today. So I hope you're all really well. I'm not sure if this is going to be the setup all the time. It probably isn't, to be fair, because there are a lot of different places that I could be filming, but for the right here and now this will do. My hair is kind of halfway through drying, so I've just put it back with a scarf because I am loving the scarf situation that I've got going on at the moment. And I'm not very prepared because I haven't brought any makeup over, so just a second. I've actually just got all my makeup next to me on my kind of bedside table because I don't actually have a dressing table at the moment, and there's not any space to put it in front of this window that's right here if I am to get a dressing table, which I'm hoping I will be. So yeah, I don't quite know what to do about the layout of the room really. But anyway, this video is not about that. This is about getting ready. Excuse me if I keep disappearing out of shot, but I just need to grab stuff. So, how are you guys? I am good, actually. Although I have got, can we see the horrible, well, I've got some going on here, I've got some on my neck. I don't know whether it's because my routine kind of went a little bit out the window with moving and everything. In terms of my skincare, I've just been kind of making do on the daily, although I've been trying to do my best. And then yeah, two particularly nasty cystic acne spots, and yeah, they're just starting to go down, but they're quite difficult to cover because they are nasty. By the way, I should probably say that if you're new to my Get Ready With Me videos, which I suppose you could well be, welcome, it's lovely to have you here. I don't generally tend to talk about the makeup that much. I chat about other stuff, which at the moment there's quite a lot to potentially be talking about. If you see me using something and you want to know what it is, then of course I will list all of the products down below in the description box. But I only tend to really talk about the makeup if there is something in particular that I really want to say. I am actually going through a bit of a, I must use my foundation stash up phase at the moment before I buy anything new. One, because we have just bought a house and obviously we don't have as much money as we used to. And two, apparently I have a lot of makeup, which I kind of knew anyway. But the move, when you're trying to physically move it all, it brings it into like really sharp focus how much makeup you've got. So I'm having a bit of an experiment at the moment. I'm trying to be really brave and use stuff that I know is not ideal for me, but I'm trying to make stuff work basically before I completely give up on it and maybe give it to someone else. So yeah, it's been a bit of an experimental week with wearing makeup this week. But in terms of the move itself, isn't just every time you move completely stressful and awful, or is it just me? You think it's not going to be too bad, and we didn't think this time was going to be particularly bad because of the fact that we're just moving kind of up the road. And yeah, it was still pretty stressful. We still were completely not prepared really. But we got there, and it was my short week at work this week, so I only did Monday, Tuesday, and I've been sort of gradually going from room to room, trying to sort everything out, find homes for things, because we've gone from a really tiny bungalow to a house with an actual upstairs, but apparently we don't have a lot of storage here, and there's loads of rooms, so we are completely planning an IKEA trip at some point, because an IKEA is opening quite a bit closer to us, because the nearest one to us at the moment is in Bristol, which is probably, what, about 3.5, 4 hours drive, and as much as I would love to go there, that's rather far. So I've never actually been to IKEA. I've always wanted to go, but it's just always been a little bit too far. My father-in-law actually used to live in Bristol, and whenever we went up to see him, I just remember hating the journey, because I'm not the best passenger in the world. I get bored. I usually fall asleep. So yeah, the one that's opening a lot closer to us is Exeter, which I am ridiculously excited about. I emailed the PR or the press office or someone before we moved to say, I see a lot of IKEA related content on YouTube. I am assuming that your general stance is it's okay to film, because people do make it pretty obvious. But I just think it would be too good an opportunity to pass up for me to go to IKEA for the first time and not bring you guys along. So they came back to me and they said that yes, they do allow filming, but they just need to make the store aware. And I haven't actually heard anything since then, so I need to chase that up, because we are desperate to get in there. It was due to be opening on May the 1st, but I think they had to push the date out because of all that bad weather we had not all that long ago, and people couldn't physically get to work, so I don't think the store is quite ready yet. But in a way it's a good thing, because it's helped us in so much as I've been watching a lot of stuff on YouTube. My husband has been looking on Pinterest a lot and sort of saying stuff like, oh, I've seen this thing on Pinterest. I don't know why. It does not sound like that. Oh, yeah, he'll say like, oh, I've seen this thing on Pinterest and it's really cool and it's storage for XYZ whatever. And I'll be like, oh, that's so cool. He's kind of got the IKEA hack bug, because there are a lot of hacks out there for storage solutions, and boy, do we need to find some canny storage solutions, because we just don't seem to have homes for everything, which I kind of did not think was going to be the case, because I thought moving to somewhere bigger we'd have loads of storage stuff, but there isn't really. So we definitely need to get some storage solutions in our life. And I did mention, I think it was on Facebook, about doing some content around homey kind of stuff in general. So whether that is haul videos, because I'm sure as and when we can afford it, there will be haul videos showing you what we've picked up from various places. I guess just general homey stuff, so sort of showing you around and what we've done, because there are a few things that we want to change. To also actually getting in the kitchen and doing cooking videos and stuff. Because I did mention a little while ago about how on a Sunday that's usually my kind of preparation day for the week to do meal planning and stuff, and a few of you did actually mention when I talked about this that you would like to see videos of that nature, so I will certainly do that. I don't think I do anything particularly groundbreaking, and I think from a content point of view And this is how I feel about pretty much everything that I produce. There's always someone out there who does a better job than what I do by a million times. So thank you so much for sticking with me, because sometimes I just don't understand why you do. Because I've been watching quite a lot of content lately around sort of homey stuff and doing food on a budget and all that kind of thing. And there are some amazing YouTubers out there which I just still haven't discovered yet. You know, they have better production quality to what I do. Maybe they have better editing software. They have better lighting. It's, I don't know, just better, basically, better than me. And it makes me feel a bit like, why am I doing this? Because I'm actually not very good at it. And it's not a nice way to feel about yourself, but that's the truth of it. Yeah, I need to go on Operation Cover Up now. So yes, there is much excitement going on at the moment at home. Lots of cleaning going on. I'm completely loving playing house, and I know how ridiculous that sounds. But just like, yeah, just finding a joy for cleaning. It's amazing when a home is actually your own, how much joy, at least for the moment, cleaning can bring you, because I don't know, you just want to make your home look nice. So I've been cleaning windows this morning on the inside. The outside is looking pretty shocking, so I'll have a go at that at some point, I think. Obviously going to need a ladder for some of it, although some of the windows open really strangely. They open like several different ways, and I've already had a couple of scares with the boy and the windows, because he did spend the first almost 2 years of his life living in a house, not that he remembers it, and I used to freak out about windows then, but obviously now with a 4-year-old, it's a completely different kettle of fish. And this window out here, I think I had it open. This was literally the weekend we moved in, because it was unbelievably hot, which is lovely, don't get me wrong, it was very welcome, but not when you're moving house. And we had the window open just to let some air in, and the stairs come up directly opposite that window, and he went charging up the stairs, somehow managed to like carry on his momentum, climb up the radiator. This was all like in one movement, and then he was pretty much flying out the window. Not quite, but in my mum brain he was flying through the window, and I was stood right there, so I was able to grab him. In reality, he actually kind of landed on the windowsill with his elbows, and his feet were resting on the radiator, and I was just like stood there having palpitations and trying to explain to him that, you know, you can actually fall out the window. And I was talking to a colleague in work about this, saying, I've not figured it out yet, but there must be some kind of catch on the window or something where it can be open, but only by like a small amount, and it won't open anymore. And she was telling me that apparently with modern windows, so if you get windows fitted or you're moving to a newish build property, which this is, it's only 9 years old, apparently that's not the case anymore. You can obviously put a window on the hook or the latch or whatever you want to call it, where it's not actually really open at all, it's just letting a bit of a breeze through. But if you actually want a window that will open, say, that much and kind of lock in position, or not open anymore, they won't do that anymore, because obviously if you've got a fire or something, people need to be able to get in. But can you not have both? Can you not have the ability to be able to open it a little bit of the way and then lock it, and then in an emergency obviously reach in and fiddle with something and open it fully? I don't know. So I don't think any of our windows do that, but to be fair, I've not really looked at them because the weather has not been that great, so we've not really been leaving them open, but we could do with having a look at them again, really. these healing spots have got to the phase of being very difficult to cover because there's a lot of texture to cover, so I think that's probably going to be as good as it's going to get in reality. And I'm not really doing anything that exciting today, so it's not like, you know, I'm having to cover up and go somewhere glamorous or something. I will be showing you, or have already shown you, I'm not entirely sure what order these videos are going to be up, to be honest, but I have taken footage of the house itself. So not long after we moved in, I've given you a bit of a tour and shown you where everything is. We've literally got a park right there. I can see part of it now, which when we first moved in, literally the first night, so on that Saturday a week ago, there were teenagers in the park, and it was only really an issue because we decided to go to bed ridiculously early because we were exhausted. And yeah, there were just these annoying teenagers, and it's like, I don't remember doing that when I was a teenager, just randomly hanging around in a child's park when you've got houses. Like, there are people even closer to the park than what we are. And you just think, what is the thought process there? It's like, I know, I'm going to go to a park in a really built up area and be really annoying and noisy because obviously that's the best way to have fun and entertain myself. I don't know. But touch wood, we have not had that issue again. But so far, our first week in the house has gone really well. It was my short week at work anyway, like I said, so from my point of view, it was great timing because it meant I could, like I say, kind of play house, move stuff around, paint, tidy, and just enjoy the house really. So it's been lovely. Oh, and we were due to have our broadband connected on, was it Friday? Yes, it was Friday. And I kept speaking to BT about it, British Telecom, if you're not familiar, and they'd messed us around in the past, which is why I wanted to keep on top of them to ensure everything was going to be okay. And they kept saying to me, yeah, everything's due to be connected, it's all fine, chill out, stop worrying about it. And it looked like it was going to be delayed after all. And then I think it was like randomly 8 o'clock in the evening or something, I had an email and a text from BT to say that we were connected, and I was like, oh, okay, it did actually happen, I'm amazed. And one thing about this house is there are plugs and sockets everywhere. Literally, I think in every bedroom you've got more plugs than you can shake a stick at. There is a phone socket and an aerial cable for the TV. So that's really nice because normally you're like hunting around for sockets, or at least, you know, that's always been our problem before. And none of the BT telephone point socket things were actually working. So we were like, oh, basically we've been connected, but we can't get on the internet. That's frustrating. I know, first world problems and all that, but it's what you get used to, and it's the world we live in now, unfortunately. So I spoke to BT again. This was, yeah, yesterday morning. And basically we've got an engineer coming out to look at it on Thursday. They were going to come out on Tuesday, but I'm at work, so that wasn't ever going to happen. And then after we put the phone down, after about half an hour of trying to get it up and running, the one room we hadn't tried was the big spare room, which is next door to here. And it worked in there. And we were like, what? That doesn't make any sense. None of the other sockets are working apart from this one, which the people who used to live here, that was their youngest child's room. So it seemed a bit odd. And we thought, great, you know, we've got a kind of connection. It's not fabulous because it's not ideally placed in the house. we're probably getting a similar speed to what we had where we used to live, which is great, but we were kind of hoping to get a slightly faster speed here because this is a newer build area, and generally that means that it's been wired a bit better. So we can at least have our demand TV. I mean, it's a good job we've got a smart TV because we can't actually connect our BT, like the Vision box thingy, to record stuff and things. But at least we do have something. So I then get a call from BT yesterday afternoon to say, oh, hi, I'm just calling because our engineer did a preliminary test, and I'm just sat there thinking, this just sounds like a heap of rubbish. And we can see that your internet's actually working. That's fantastic. So we'll cancel their visit. And I was like, no, you do still need to come out because we can't keep it where it is. It's in one of the bedrooms. And we need the actual hub itself down by the TV because we need to plug stuff into the hub, you know, like our BT Vision box and stuff. So he's like, oh, so you still want an engineer to come out? And I was like, yes, please. So yeah, that was interesting, wasn't it? But hopefully at some point all of that means is that I'll be able to get all of this uploaded and it'll be fine. I mean, chances are I can probably still do that anyway, but I just don't know how much time I'm going to have to actually edit, particularly this like Get Ready With Me. Looks like the boys are nearly home as well. Hopefully they've managed to get all the bits we need to plumb the washing machine in. And then I think we'll have some lunch, and then Alex has a play date at the park with one of his friends. So that is pretty much how my day-to-day is going to go. But it is my long week at work, so I need to be really organised this afternoon and figure out what I'm going to be eating whilst I'm at work, because last week I did actually buy my lunch both days, which was a bit naughty because I can't really afford to be doing that anymore. But I just did not have time with the move and everything to sort out food. It's probably going to involve pasta. Speaking of food, I am probably not going to be going to weigh-in anymore because I didn't go 2 weeks ago because I think I was getting a delivery or something. No, tell a lie, it was the day before we completed on this house. So we were trying to be organised and get all of our stuff sorted. And then this Thursday just gone is when I had a delivery, so I couldn't go out and get weighed. And I'd prepaid for those 2 weigh-ins. So, and those were my last weigh-ins of that prepaid. I think I'm all done now. And I can't really afford to be going back, unfortunately. But I am going to continue to weigh myself, so I will let you know how I get on. And I will continue to try and do that weekly, I think, because in me doing that, it will hopefully keep me on track. Because I'm not sure where I am at the moment. I just haven't weighed myself. I have relaxed quite a bit in terms of food and just eaten whatever really, which isn't ideal, but you know, with moving and stuff, it's been kind of tricky. Yeah, I can hear the boys just coming in the back door now. Hello. Okay. You've been a good boy? Yeah. Awesome. Really struggling with mascaras at the moment. This is a MAC one that I'm using in Extreme 3D or something, I think it's called. Just because I have quite a few that I need to use up, and I just can't seem to get any of them to work, which is really annoying. either they smudge or I just can't get my lashes to look right. So I'm not having the best luck with mascaras at the moment. That Douce one, I think I'm going to give up on that because I just can't get my lashes to look nice with it anymore, unfortunately. Although, weirdly, this eye still continues to be the better eye of the two, and it tends to go right a lot easier. So I'm quite happy with how that's looking, but this side is just looking a bit of a mess. And I think it's already dried, so there's not a lot I can do about it. I don't know whether you noticed when Alex came in the room just then, but he's taken his Stormtrooper food shopping today. He absolutely loves that Stormtrooper. I think that's about as good as it's going to get. I don't want to mess around with it too much longer. That's so strange. I don't normally do my lashes before I've done my brows, and this is kind of how my face used to look before I did my brows, and it just looks really weird now. I can't wait to get into a bit more of a rhythm again in terms of filming and editing and uploading, because it feels like I haven't done anything in ages, when in reality, I mean, I know I uploaded last weekend, but that was quite a lazy, non-edited couple of videos just taken on my phone. But I've not properly sat down and edited something, and you know, I do really miss it. It feels like it's been a long time. I have been watching some content from, I can't think of her surname, but Trini from Trini and Susanna, because she has a channel and she just cracks me up. I think I was looking for a particular video one day and she happened to have a video on it, so I thought, oh great, I'll watch. And I can see why she's quite popular, because she was just cracking me up. She has a very basic setup when it comes to her YouTube content, which I suppose makes me think back to what I was saying earlier about not feeling great about my setup. Well, hers is literally, she just uses her phone and she doesn't do any editing as far as I can see in the videos that I've watched, and she props her phone up. You know, this is proper like old school in terms of how a lot of beauty YouTubers start out, but she totally pulls it off and it's her style, and I can't imagine her having kind of higher production values. I suppose because she used to be on TV, I don't think she's on TV anymore, I'm not sure. So she's used to the high production values, and then this is just her sort of doing things a lot easier, I suppose. And it really works for her. I thought it was absolutely brilliant and so funny, because sometimes her phone would fall over or whatever. But I found her really interesting. So, you know, I have been thinking a fair bit about my content and what things I would like to show, whilst being mindful of how much time I have and what I can produce, and also what you guys actually want to see as well. So if you've got any suggestions of what kind of content you'd like to see from me, whether it's content I already produce that you'd like to see more of, or whether it's stuff I don't currently do and you would like to see it, then let me know, because I think it's very easy for things to become a little bit stale when you're doing the same sort of stuff all the time. So let me know if there is anything else you'd like to see, because I'm giving it all quite a lot of thought at the moment. It's so frustrating not having a bigger mirror. We literally have one mirror on the wall in this place, and that's a mirror that they left in the family bathroom, and it's so high I have to stand on tiptoes to be able to see in it. Basically everything in here is too high for me. The wardrobe behind me, it's really high to put clothes away. The cupboards in the kitchen, just everything. I don't remember them being that tall either. It's quite funny. So yeah, we've only got that one mirror in the main family bathroom, which I can't properly see in anyway. So I'm having to use like mainly my Hourglass palette mirror because it's probably the biggest one that I've got. But if you remember from what I've said before, I don't love doing my eyebrows in small handheld mirrors because I generally get them wrong. But that's how I've been doing my brows on the daily, and I think I've been just about getting away with it. I'm not sure. I usually end up getting them wonky. Unfortunately, we have had a couple of issues in the house. Bearing in mind we've only been here like a week. We have a kitchen tap that screams at us every time we want to use it, which is not ideal. And that's hot or cold, and it doesn't seem to matter like when we use it or how we use it or what we do with it, and it's really loud as well, so that's something that needs to be looked at. We have discovered an issue with the boiler yesterday because it's been a bit cold, which is frustrating for this time of year because you want it to start warming up now really. But we did have the heating on and we were trying to get hot water at the same time and it didn't work, and it threw up an error code on the boiler, which that's not what you want. You know, boiler issues can be very expensive and we basically don't really have any money right now because we don't know when our first mortgage payment is going to come out or how much it's going to be for. We're waiting for them to write to us because apparently this is how you do stuff in 2018. You write to people. I did call them about it so that we could budget because obviously our mortgage payment is going to be the biggest outgoing we have now. And yeah, they weren't able to tell me because our account hadn't been properly set up. So yeah, we're literally just waiting to find out how much this first payment is going to be because it's going to be higher. We obviously know what our payments are going to be after this first payment and when they'll come out, but it's just this first payment we're not sure about because we know it's going to be quite a bit more. So yeah, we could do with stuff not breaking or needing fixing or whatever, because we don't have any money and we've only been here a week, so it would be nice to sort of sit here a bit longer before stuff starts going wrong. I think I'm pretty much done. Super basic face, even though it felt like it took me quite a while. Just pop a little bit of this on because I just love this so much. I think I'm going to have to buy, when I can, a couple of backups because I can see it disappearing and not being available again. I don't think I've really spoken hardly about makeup at all, have I? And usually I do quite a bit, but I haven't today. I guess it's because there's so much other stuff going on. Right, I'm just going to quickly finish off my hair and I will be back in a second. And there, that is it pretty much dry. I'm just going to let it cool down and then give it a good shake. This is actually the first time that I have properly dried my hair since having it cut last Saturday. So I'll have a proper look at it in a minute and see how everything is. Anyway, that is me all done, ready for the day, even though it's now lunchtime. So I hope you're all really well, and I will see you again soon. Bye.